give us that intro.
Nervous?
Yeah,
we're going, baby.
So, anyways,
Today's Friday the 13th. It's a very spooky day. Yeah, should we cancel this?
No, it's too late.
I gotta
It's
go.
too late. We already started. It's 11:04 on time. We have with us today the band Harrison Gordon. How are you, fellas?
Doing well.
How about you?
I'm pretty great. Yeah. And as always, we have Ken.
Jeff's doing great today. Woo! Jeff went to see everybody's buddies Hot Mulligan last night.
I did.
And,
They said
played
hello.
with them. You guys just played with Hot Mulligan. Where?
We did Subterranean in Chicago.
How'd it go?
It was great.
Was it mayhem?
Very, very fun.
No,
Yes.
it was.
That's a small
It was
room
really
for the
fun.
kind of stuff they're filling. That must have been off the
It was a
hook.
very
Oh,
sweaty
yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah. My lungs definitely felt it after, with the moisture in a confined space like that. You can feel that kind of stick down in there.
Yeah,
after
yeah.
a while.
Their tech was also doing phenomenal in catching people that were about to just crash directly into them, like the whole show, crowd surfing.
Yeah.
Jacob was
Not a lot
on
of
that.
space in the front of the stage.
No, not a lot.
We sponsored a show like that with them once in California where there was no crowd barrier and there were hundreds and hundreds of people there. And it was
yeah.
it was incredible for sure. Well, okay, so let's figure this out because I want to know what brings you to me. I mean, I remember meeting you guys for the first time last year because you got some guitars from Tim, my artist rep, and you guys started talking, and you came here last fall or last summer.
Yeah.
And you were coming through on tour.
Uh-huh.
And was that when you were coming through with Carpool and Saturdays at your place?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I remember, but you obviously knew about us before then. So how did you hear about us before that?
I was while we were driving up, I was trying to remember because I figured I was preparing.
Yeah.
That's what we did the entire 4-hour drive here. We were preparing. Yeah. I think it was just a couple other people that we're really big fans of played Reverend guitars, and I remember seeing them. I think Corey from Prince Daddy and the Hyena was the first one I saw, and was like, he plays one of those jet streams with the 3 P90s, and I remember being like, I want that guitar.
Nice.
Which is funny because I did not end up getting that guitar, but I got a very different guitar. But
It's never too late.
maybe it's at some point.
Yeah.
And then that kind of brought me down a little bit of a rabbit hole where I was like, well, these are really cool. Everyone else we know is playing them, so I got a chance to play them a couple times because I would be one of those guys who'd showed up to a gig and then be like, my guitar's not really working, and then I'd borrow someone else's.
Mhm.
So I ended up getting to stress test quite a few of your guitars before deciding that I was like, okay, we really want to try to reach out to these guys and see if we can get something going because I really like these instruments.
Yeah.
And it was also just how nice the bass contour feels on stage and doing recording there. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, this guy, you're hired. You're hired.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It felt like a night and day difference of I can just I just play one of these guitars and immediately I feel like I sound better.
Okay.
Well,
All of that is very kind of you.
Of course.
What guitars do you guys have on the road with you now? Jake, I know you're playing Double Agent. Yep.
I'm playing the Reeves Gabriel dirt bike.
Reeves Pros. Yeah, Dirt Bike Royale.
Yeah, the
with
Royale.
those Mogitone pickups. That's a monster.
That's such a nice guitar. It sounds beautiful.
He is going to be sitting in that very chair 7 days from right now.
Mm.
Yeah, Reeves hasn't been into the studio yet. We're really
that's
excited
cool.
to have him
That's awesome.
coming out here. Yeah, it's going to be great. He's got some sort of crazy instrumental band
Oh, nice.
that they were calling the Doom Dogs, but now I believe they're just calling it Gabrels, Kane, and Parker Wells.
Oh, nice. Well, don't let him know about the derivative garbage I'm playing on his guitar.
No, you guys
Don't let him know about the zero.
no,
Don't let him know
so-
about the 035 riffs I come up with on that guitar.
Okay, so let's talk about your band. So, I already asked you this question outside, but it's worth repeating. How exactly did you end up naming the band after yourself, sir?
So it started as kind of a solo project in high school and early in college, and I didn't really I went to a smaller high school, in a smaller town, and so I didn't.
Which is
Normal, Illinois.
Normal.
It's not that small of a town, but I wasn't.
But how normal is it?
It's we got the most chain restaurants per capita anywhere in the country.
That's normal.
That's pretty. That's pretty
America.
standard.
That's America.
That's pretty American. Yeah. The main highway through the road is also where all of the chain restaurants are off. Yep.
Okay.
And I just didn't make probably enough of an effort or knew enough people to like get a band going. And I certainly didn't know a lot of people who were into the same kind of stuff I was into while I was growing up. And so it just started with fake drums on a computer and kind of doing it all myself. And then there was like a point where I was like about to put out like a debut kind of thing on Spotify. And I was like, well, I either have to come up with a name right now or stick with just my first and last name. And I knew my friends were going to give me so much shit if I tried to be like, well, if I tried to like rename the artist project to something.
Yeah.
And so it was just the embarrassment of that made me have to stick it out with this. And then once we kind of started playing, it was like, there was kind of another moment where we were like, maybe we could come up with a band name. And you guys were like, no, don't do that. That's stupid. And I was like, okay.
I think we were trying to come up with something. Harrison Gordon and I
was like, I shot that down really fast.
Yeah, no, that's probably one of the worst things.
Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't. We probably wouldn't be sitting here if we became an and the.
Right, because
it would not have panned out. Well, none of the.
I got to know. Was there like a? Did you have one?
Let's not get into it.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
We'll keep that off air.
All right. Fair enough.
They weren't.
Yeah, because you don't want people to just start calling you that. That would be that'd be tough.
I don't think anybody wants to be called that.
So everybody introduce yourselves. We didn't really.
Oh, I'm Harrison.
Yeah, you are.
I'm Jake.
Jake plays lead guitar.
I'm Orpin. I play bass.
Yes, indeed.
My name is Jagger, and I play drums.
Yeah, drums. Always got to have one.
That's
nice.
True. Yeah,
I know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Got to figure out a way to kind of get him out, and put like a.
Yeah,
computer going in this place.
As I just asked you like 5 minutes ago, when are you going to start making drums?
I know. But right out of the gate, I want to just note how impressive it is that you are sitting on the couch and you are talking. Because most of the time, drummers come into this building and they just like cower, or they just run off somewhere, and then everybody has to find them when it comes time to do something. Don't you think, Jen?
Sure.
Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So none of you guys are from Normal. So how did the four of you end up hooking together and having the band become cohesive and go forward?
You wanted to say hooking up so bad.
How did the four of you end up hooking up?
Well, we just had a couple nights that got a little too far.
We did put him on the casting couch.
I did.
Actually,
I did.
I could answer this probably the best. Oh yeah. We'll throw it to the group. But I got booked for a gig that I told the promoter that I had a band ready to go, and I didn't have a band.
Liar.
Yeah, I knew Jagger from like we played in like local bands kind of around the same area.
Yeah,
and like we had like mutual friends that played and stuff, and we'd always talk because he was like the first guy I met in our like local scene that was like, oh, you actually listen to good.
You were living with
bands?
Ryan already at the time.
Yeah, I was living with one of your bandmates.
Yeah, so I was already playing music like in your house.
Yeah, and we had plans. We were like, we're gonna get this whatever.
I was bugging you about it, and
yeah.
I think it was that show getting booked that kind of.
And then these middle two were an Instagram story that I was like, hey, if anyone plays an instrument, I need to have a band for like 2 weeks from now for an unpaid show.
Yeah, nice.
And you two were like, okay. I'll throw that back to you.
Yeah, I had like mutual friends of Harrison, and we knew of each other's like old bands and stuff. And there was an Instagram post like, who wants to play bass? And I was like home for the summer from college, and I was like, I'll play bass. He's like, I already have a bass player. You want to play guitar? And I was like, sure.
Were you playing guitar in a band before this?
Yeah, I was playing guitar already. I just like also happened to play bass, and I was like, oh, it'd be fun to play bass for like a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
And now it's 2-something years later, 3.
I was the aforementioned bass player that crushed your dreams.
It was like
to play
minutes
bass
apart
again.
too, I think.
Well, like because
Came together fast.
I was. It was on my mom's birthday, and I was like walking to the train station to like take the train up to Chicago to like surprise my mom for her birthday. And I look at my phone, and it said posted 17 seconds ago, Harrison Gordon. Hey, I need a bass player, and it was like a big emoji of a guy doing like this, and I'm like, I play bass. Can I have the set list? And he's like, sure. And then he sent me his top 10 anime list instead of the set list. And I'm like, oh, so he doesn't want So-
Wrong one.
And now we are here, and we're just as organized and professional.
These were also from, if my memory serves me right, these were the only two that responded to the Instagram post. So,
How long ago was this?
This would have been about a little over 3 years ago. So,
May 19th, 2022.
oh wow,
Nice.
Gee, ooh. I don't remember that.
June 11th, so very close to 3 years. It was 3 years, 2 days ago.
Wow. I feel like a bad husband because I don't know. I don't have any of these dates memorized. I don't know
though,
these anniversaries.
So in 3 years, how much of that time have you spent on the road? Like a year and a half? It seems like you guys are
Yeah, we've been playing out a lot. It took us a while before we got like our first like real like proper tour.
Yeah.
Going. We've done a couple like a little bit of like a lot of regional stuff, and then a couple like longer tours that did not go very well. But it wasn't until like last summer that we did like a real, even like half US tour.
Yeah.
And then last fall where we met up with you guys was our first full US. So we haven't been kicking it on the road for all that long. We're still kind of in this phase where like every time we go out, we're like learning a bunch of new stuff, which has been cool.
How long was that tour with Saturdays in Carpool?
It was 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It felt a lot longer because we ran into a lot of problems on the way, but
Yeah.
by the time we reached you guys was like the day before we went home, and we were
I was at that show, and I mean, and that was right at the end, right at the end of the tour. You guys played at Frankie's here in Toledo, and every band was on fire.
it was awesome.
I mean, you could tell that you guys had been like putting in the time,
Yeah.
because it was just one after the other, and I can remember I was significantly older than the rest of the crowd in there, but I did have a couple of friends at that show, and they were like, "Oh my god, these bands!" I'm like, "Yeah." Saturdays is incredible.
Oh yeah.
So how did you guys hook up with them?
Just another one of those nights
Passionately.
that we,
Yeah.
Passionately.
that went a little bit too late.
Yeah.
They kind of we kind of followed the same trajectory as them, just like about a year sort of later. So like
Okay.
while they were like we'd known about each other for a long time, and while they were growing in like on pace to be the band they are now, we were like Instagram DMing them, be like, hey, come play this local show with us. So like be like, we'll bring 100 people out to this local show. You guys got to come play. We were being like that band, and then eventually
That's great. You
once
guys are
we
awesome.
started kind of getting some pull, we played like a show opening for them in Wisconsin, and I guess they liked what we had going on enough to ask us to play their first like headline tour, which was super cool.
That's really cool.
I think it was like a week or two after we played that show.
Yeah, it was like
We got
right
the
after
offer,
that they
yeah.
and I was like, wow, because I did not, we're a little abrasive of individuals, and sometimes we leave shows and we're like, I don't think we made good impressions there.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they liked us very much.
That was a good show. It was a good time. It was in a food court. That
looked like an Olive
the
Garden.
University of Wisconsin in Madison. And when we were walking in, like during our in quotes load in time, there was like somebody doing like piano covers of like pop songs, like on the stage that we were supposed to be playing in an hour, which was kind of funny. It was also was it just the two of us?
Yeah.
Just the two bands. And it's like the cafeteria of University of Wisconsin, but there's also a really big bar in there. So it's just kind of a weird, interesting
Sounds like Wisconsin.
venue. Yeah, right.
Yeah. There's bar and a cheese plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wisconsin.
I just
100%.
remember that show being so funny because my parents wanted to come, and I was like, well, I lived with them at the time, so I was like, well, I'm not driving up. And so I had my mom and my dad drop me off to the show, which felt really awesome. I promise, felt really, really cool of me. I was because we loaded it at the same time as Saturdays, and that's my first time like meeting any of them. And so they were like unloading their trailer, and I was like, "Thanks, Mom. Okay, pick me up at
Was that before?
That's
Was that before we even started selling T-shirts? I don't think we had started.
No, we had
selling-
merch by then.
No, I think we had hats and like.
No. But it was not far. It was not long after we had
Okay.
started selling.
'Cause-
Merch.
yeah. That was right around the time where Harrison was
We
like,
we did like a year and a half before we started selling any merchandise.
We
Fair enough.
did tote bags first.
That
Tote
doesn't-
bags is the first.
That doesn't
merch
count. I
did.
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Now that show was fun because
I think it was originally going to call the band Harrison Gordon and the Tote Bags.
Yeah, that is
You're,
what the name
you're,
was.
you're getting
right,
close.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, that show was weird because like I drove for my job at the time, which was like a high school teacher. So I said bye to my students in my personal finance class, and then I just drove right to Madison, Wisconsin.
So, how has your personal finance class and training helped you prepare for what you're doing now?
By forsaking my college degree and becoming a touring musician, which is the opposite of personal finance, I think I made a damn good decision.
I like that. I like what we've done here. Okay, so moving on from the Saturdays thing, then I saw you at Ho Ho Hot Mulligan, was where we crossed paths again, and I put some pictures on the inner Googles yesterday that I took at that show, what I had left in my phone, and that's a Detroit. That show is becoming a Detroit institution, which is really fun for us here.
Yeah.
And every year it ends up in a bigger venue, and those guys kind of invite the bands who play on that show. I mean, it's like their hometown festival, and it's turning into something awesome over the last few years. So how did you end up hooking up with our buds in Hot Mulligan and end up being on Ho Ho Hot Mulligan in 2024?
From what I recall, from what I remember hearing, is that was Tades, the singer. We had met him a few months prior to that.
Yeah.
At another show that he was like there to hang out at, and had mentioned that he had like in passing that he had like seen kind of our videos that we were posting and like listened to our stuff. And he didn't make like a big stink about it. So we were like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Yeah. And then we got that offer, and I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. And then I heard that it was because of his rec, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And that show
That's
was
great.
awesome. That was super fun. That was
You guys destroyed it.
Yeah.
That show. It was amazing.
Thank you. That was the
Yeah,
biggest show
it-
we played to date. It probably will. Well, I guess it'll be for a little bit longer, at least.
Yeah. Because you guys are
Like,
doing
and
you're doing
biggest-
Riot Fest this year.
Yeah. But biggest non-festival, it'll probably stay for quite a long time unless we get
Sure.
on something hilarious. But
it is kind of a festival, though.
It was. You're right. It was kind of a festival.
It's become a festival, and it's
It
Yeah,
has.
it has become a festival. You're right.
That was great. I saw. I talk about this all the time. Sorry, Jeff.
It's okay.
I saw Tiger's Jaw for the first time at that show.
Oh, yeah.
So because on that main stage, it was you guys, then them, and then Hot Mulligan, right? If I recall correctly.
I think there was someone in between.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fireworks.
fireworks,
Yeah.
of course. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, how could I forget
Because
fireworks?
you said that, I was like,
Longtime Reverend band.
because you said that, and I was like, there's no way that's true. It's
Yeah.
like I was like doing the timeline. I was like,
yeah, going through
no
that,
way,
going
no.
through that in your head, and like that doesn't make sense.
I was like, that doesn't make sense.
That was such a good show.
That was awesome.
Kira, that was a good show, wasn't it? Kira's here, everybody.
Akira.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, that was a really good show. Kira and I went to that show together. Indeed. So how does Riot Fest? How did that come about? Because I think that's a people want to know question. That's amazing. Kick ass for you guys.
That I don't have any specific explanation outside of the fact that we've been kind of an Illinois local band for a long time.
Yeah, and they're good at that.
They got they're always
Yeah.
good at pulling like really good Chicago adjacent bands.
Yeah.
And we've done like really good shows in Chicago. Has always been like a cool market for us. And on this last Free Throw tour we just did, we played the Metro, and it was like a Riot Fest Presents show.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I think that was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of the in. But then they came and they gave us like an amazing offer and like opportunity. We're gonna play the main stage, which is super cool.
Dude,
And so
incredible.
we're super honored. I know I've not been to a Riot Fest yet, but I know all of you guys have
I've
been.
been I've been to Riot Fest like
Oh, I
every
thought-
year
my
since
bad.
I was in high school. I go, and so that's like a dream come true. But to give a little bit more context, after we played, the day of show was like looking for somebody because they just wanted to congratulate us on like that, opening up. And she said, you did, X amount of people here, like through the door, like before you guys even started playing. That's something that we don't see every week. So you should be like really, really proud of that. And so that I feel like that's kind of how one of the reasons why I think we got that offer. And yeah, super, super excited about that. very much looking forward to it, and I'm excited to because I just pay for like the cheapest like general admission every year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have like a bench to sit down and a tent and some free cold water. That'll be nice.
Nice. What I would like to do is send a photographer. Right? There's somebody that we work with in Chicago who I send her to Riot Fest often, and she takes great pictures. So I'm going to put that together after. If you guys can get us a photo pass, we'd love to spread the word.
We'll work our magic.
Yeah, you're working magic.
I've got a magic touch on the email. Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot. And then recording wise, let's talk. What do you guys have going on?
Right now, we're kind of in the awkward phase of we're just like every time we rehearse, we have some new thing we're trying to figure out if it's a good song or not. And a lot of times it's not, but we found a couple that we're liking so far. So we're just trying to write a new record, trying to have fun with that.
Do you have a new EP out or something?
Yeah, we put out an EP in March. That's pretty recent.
New enough. Yeah, that's new enough. Yeah.
My mind's like a mile a minute, so I'm like, whatever. That's the past. We moved on. It's over.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you. Yeah.
No, we put out an EP in March that we're really, really proud of. It's called Spring Break. It's
Okay.
available wherever people listen to music.
Yeah, on Deezer.
It's on
You can find
Deezer.
it on Deezer.
It's exclusive to Deezer and Tidal. If you want to listen to it, yeah. No, it's not on Amazon Music. It's only on Deezer and Tidal.
Nice. And then the reverends that you guys have on the road with you, you have the Reeves Cabril's Dirt Bike Royale, and you have the Double Agent. Is there something else?
That's it for right now.
That's it for right now. We'll work on
we
that.
use those in the. There we go. We use those in the studio though.
Good.
We
Awesome.
had a bunch of other guitars that were at the studio, and we kind of just like defaulted back. We were like,
Boy,
Yeah,
every
these
time
are
we pick
kinda-
this up, it sounds the best.
yeah, it was kind of. It was just like nothing else kind of hit the spot. I think
Nice.
it was it just worked. Also, it's that kind of thing where it's like we're at a point where we just want to sound the same live as we do in the studio. So if we can
That's cool. That's
use kind
respectable.
of the same gear,
Yeah.
it'll I don't ever want to get in a position where whatever we're playing live sounds totally different because we had some piece of studio magic that we can't replicate live. And
Are you guys using any tracks? I mean, everybody's doing.
no, we're gonna probably start doing even just some like because we have a lot of like we're that classic emo where we have like a bunch of TV samples in a bunch of our songs. So I think we're gonna get on that, but we really have no interest in hopping on the tracks thing. I think it's just it's not really our.
Don't say it because when you're doing it in 2 years, people are going to
I
be like,
know.
remember when you
I
said,
know.
you know?
Maybe like a pad for something.
Of
wild,
course.
but it's I don't know. I don't think it's real. I think we'd rather add like a fifth guy before we get super into the tracks, unless we like decide to hit some weird 180 in our sound and add like a bunch of stuff that we have no interest ever in. You know,
I used
unless
to.
we had some like trap beats going on. Don't
Right,
quote
right,
me on
right.
that,
No,
but
yeah,
I
no,
feel,
there's nothing wrong with that either.
no, but I feel pretty confident right now that I think we're like we've been in our past couple like pieces of material, we've been like filtering down where I feel like a lot of bands kind of like expand outwards, and every new record they're like we're gonna add a new thing, and we're kind of like the opposite. We're
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, we did.
That's cool in
we
its
did
own way.
quad
That's
track-
awesome.
We did
Yeah.
quad track guitars. Now let's just double track them, and then the next record's probably gonna just sound like a Dead Kennedys demo.
Listen, if an
Uh,
acoustic comes out, then really rethink your process.
Okay.
All right. And then call me too, because I
Perfect.
can help you with the acoustic.
Yeah. Hey, we already have some acoustic songs, so
Can't win them all. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I know that you don't like that stuff.
you don't like acoustic guitars?
Well, technology has moved us
Oh my
past
God.
that.
We have
electricity now.
We have electricity now. It's different.
We also have
it's a different
cars,
thing.
Ken, and you rode your bike in today.
Wow.
Oh,
You
I
rode
just
your
got
acoustic
roasted. I just
car
got
in
roasted.
today.
You know what? I have to own that. You know what? I have to own
Yeah.
that. That's
You ever
true.
heard how cool like a DI acoustic guitar sounds through like an amp?
No.
Like
No, I never have. I don't.
Get
I
a
don't.
DI acoustic
Yeah.
guitar, run it through a DS1 into any amp. It sounds badass, man.
I actually.
We don't use that sound for anything, but it's cool.
I would probably talk about like an old guy band that you've never heard of or whatever. But
I'm ready. I'll pretend.
I was listening to I had when I was riding my bike this morning. Thank you, Jeff.
I'm a biker myself, but I
I
don't
know.
hate
Oh no,
acoustic.
you are a biker. It's fine. Yeah.
I skate everywhere.
I was listening to Synchronicity 2 by the Police came up on this. I have a Spotify list.
Did you just accuse us of not know of
I had a-
of
I'm not
preemptively
gonna
not knowing who the
assume
police
we
are?
can
I have
this
this Spotify list that my children.
I saw
made for
Sting.
me.
I saw Sting live last year.
You
I'll have
yeah,
Nice.
you skipped Riot Fest to
I did. Yeah. Well, okay. It
Well,
wasn't
kick
for
ass. So I was
Sting.
listening to Synchronicity 2 this morning on my Dadcore Spotify list
beautiful.
that my kids made, and it occurred to me that arpeggiated stuff that he is doing in the pre-chorus is on a nylon string guitar, and it sounds
Yeah, the coolest guitars.
wicked mixed into. And I love like classical
Mhm.
acoustic guitars, like nylon string
Oh.
guitars. That shit's cool.
It is cool.
We'll have to listen
It
to that
is.
in the van because I can assure you, none of us have any clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Andy Summers.
When I
Andy
saw
Summers ripped it
when I
up.
saw Sting live last year, I was super hammered at the music festival, and I was walking around a random before he came on. I was walking around a random groups of people going, "Y'all ready to get stung?" And nobody thought it was funny. People told me to fuck off. People gave me the weirdest looks ever. I thought it was funny, and people gave me the weirdest looks ever.
That is
Oh,
beyond
that's funny. I'd have
ridiculous.
laughed.
It was awesome. I was destroyed.
In my head, you were dressed up as a big bumblebee too.
I know. I wish.
Jane's a dicker of the Blind Melon music video.
I was just carrying around $14 Moscow mules. No, we were drinking
At
those.
the bourbon, you were drinking Moscow Mules at the Bourbon Festival.
No, we were drinking those. Like they had the Tall Boy IPAs that are like 9.5%
yeah.
because they were the best. They were the best bang for the buck.
Is it the beer hug?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Those are horrible. Had a lot of them, but
They won't be
Yeah.
a sponsor.
yes, we're gonna get Beer Hug as a sponsor. Even though I think their
Beer Hug, they're
even though I
horrible.
think their beer's terrible.
Well, we had thrown out there before this happened that we were going to take questions from our fans and your fans. Jeff,
Hi, Ken.
has anybody thrown anything up there?
We got a little
for-
dabbling. Catherine Fulcher says driver's side has been on repeat since March. So
There we go.
got that going. It's boosting up those numbers.
Yeah, hope things get better.
So Eric threw something in here that's near and dear to my heart, but he says, okay, Jeff, first, tell the dudes who Steely Dan is, which I feel like I shouldn't have to.
I
Yeah,
don't
well,
like
and
Steely
this
Dan.
is directed at you. Then show the bass player a picture of Walter Becker from the side.
Oh,
And when he said that, I
yeah, I see it.
I see it for sure. Yeah.
My nickname in high school was Dwight because I had like way shorter hair. Yeah, no, no, definitely.
Yeah. There's Walter Becker vibes, which is a good thing. The guy's a genius.
No, I
He's no
love
Donald
Steely
Fagen,
Dan.
but
I was,
yeah.
I was just listening to Asia.
That's a
couple days
classic.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys could do it. You can pull
Steve
it off.
Buscemi's a genius.
They could kind of pull that off. Yeah.
Yeah. Randy Greer says, "What it do, gentlemen?" So that's a question.
Oh, it do pretty good. We've been up since like 3 to 4 a.m.
You,
What?
we were waiting on you. I guess you did go to bed a little bit later.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, you.
Yeah, I was watching YouTube videos in bed. Couldn't really fall asleep. Sorry, that got totally off.
Hey, whatever.
base.
Yeah.
No, it was all part of the
We're here
question.
for you.
It was
It's
what
part
it
of the
do.
show. Yeah,
Perfect,
it was-
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad we
So,
turned
yeah.
it into something.
Do
Yeah,
it. Do anything
100%.
else, or is that it?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna hit a sheets at some point while we're here.
I went to
'Cause
Sheetz
you got
twice
You got
yesterday.
the sheets
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's one right
perfect.
around the
Yeah.
I was
corner.
gonna ask you if there's any close because
There's like literally.
When Ken asks you where you want to go to lunch, just say Sheets.
yeah, and then we're going on a Bowling Green to go catch our friends at Fochella.
Oh yeah, you got equipment's playing, right?
yeah.
I love equipment. Yeah.
A ton of people are playing. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can't call it Coachella.
I know you can't.
Oh, that's. Are they not allowed to see? They're not allowed to.
They got C&D on that. Yeah.
You know, this area, we're kind of famous for getting C&D. I saw some really fun. We have a local guitar store called the Heights Guitars,
Mhm.
and I was down there yesterday, and they did some T-shirts with their logo where they mocked the Guitar Center logo and they mocked the Sweetwater logo with their logo, and
Oh,
it's
nice,
and then below
nice.
it said "Buy your own damn candy." And they were pretty, and they got the funniest cease and desist letter from Sweetwater. Like you could tell the letter is serious, and they're telling them to stop. But it's a funny letter,
Did
right?
they send candy with the letter?
I think they did.
That would be awesome.
I would.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then of course, Gibson likes to just C&D us just for fun, and we don't even do anything wrong. It's
Like,
just
hey,
part
you
of
make
their
guitars. You're not allowed
part
to
of
do
their
that.
business model is, hey, that looks like a guitar, and we make guitars, so we're going to send you letters.
That
about
has
it.
6 strings.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
nice.
that's amazing, and Focella's jumping on the bandwagon. It's like it's becoming a Northwest Ohio
One of
thing.
one
like
of the
it.
most. We should not move here because one of the most shocking things about us is that we have not got a C&D from anybody yet.
Well, who's going to see
The other
we have a-
the other Harrison Gordon?
No, I'll get a couple. So we have a lot of uncleared samples from popular movies and television.
Oh, you're going to get in
And
trouble for that.
More importantly, we sell a lot of merchandise with copywritten logos or figures on them.
Well, why don't you tell the world all
Ride
about it?
Lightning, man.
I am,
yeah. We're like, bring it on.
By the time I get home, there'll be some copywritten material you can go purchase on our website.
It's parody clause.
It's not, yeah, but that doesn't. It's parody clause.
The all of the covers that we've done and then posted without any would that
You know what? Yeah, but that's okay. I think.
is
I
it
think that's all right.
is it okay?
Yeah.
There's just like
As long as
YouTube
you
videos,
don't
TikToks,
like
though.
post it to Spotify and make money off.
Yeah,
it.
you got to talk to somebody first. You can
Yeah.
do that, but you got to talk to somebody first. I don't really have anyone's email like that, so. Yeah, you can get no. The thing about copyright is that you can get away with it for as long as you can get away with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm currently doing. I'm like, we have all these rip-off designs I'm making money off of, and I'm gonna continue to do so until I'm told I'm not allowed. Until I'm told I won't be allowed to do it.
The email's going to be really fun.
I can't wait to see.
And we-
I can't wait to see the Harrison Gordon T-shirt with the Reverend like circle R's. Like,
Yeah. Oh, don't worry,
yeah,
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, awesome.
And
I
we
want
just
one of
steal
those.
everything from
I
Joyce
mean,
Manor
I got the
self-titled.
letter ready to
We do
go.
what?
So, steal
There are
everything from Joyce
3
Manor
Rs in there.
self-titled.
Yeah, we also steal all of our riffs from the Joyce Manor self-titled record,
Okay.
and
Wow,
all
yeah.
of our melodies from the Tiger's Jaw self-titled.
Okay.
So we're kind of waiting on those two as well to come in.
So- is that what Midwest emo is?
Yeah, and
I
I-
wanted to ask the question
Yeah.
because
It's those two
I
things.
asked that question because it
And
was
then-
emo, and then there was like, well, there's these new emo bands, and then all of a sudden everybody started saying Midwest emo. All of
But there's a
sudden.
lot of these bands that are a lot more talented than we are, and they do all that tappy stuff. And you know they'll do like a section in like 7/8.
Okay.
and they'll go like,
I
"Dude,"
see
like
what you mean. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
yeah,
you guys
the-
had like
the
Ben. You
shredded
guys had
bands.
Ben Quaden here not too long ago,
Oh my god.
and
Dude,
and they're really
whales.
they're really good at guitar, and so we're not. So we don't.
You
we're
guys
doing
are
that
pretty
stuff.
good at guitar.
I mean, I got big enough hands I can play bar chords without much issue, but that's about it.
Like I'm oddly quiet in here. It's just like,
Jake's
Yeah.
pretty good.
yeah, Jake's really good.
I would say Jake's pretty
Jake's a
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was surprised that there was bass talk because you seem so natural playing the guitar. It doesn't
Like
seem
because people who play
it
the
doesn't
bass
seem like it
guitar.
was your second choice.
Are you saying that because is it because the people who play bass guitar?
Listen,
Because
I'm
people
not
who are
gonna
bad at
go
regular
down this
guitar.
what's wrong with bass players argument. My
Are we-
daughter
are we-
is here. She's playing bass, and I'm.
Hi.
I don't. If
Are you
can't-
insinuating
I can't
that?
start
Wait,
dissing
wait,
on
wait,
bass
wait.
players in front of her. She's
Are
lovely.
you insinuating that
Your sound
that
guy's
people who
a bass
play
Look
bass?
at Zenz is over here. Zenz is over here with his finger on the
What I'm
button.
what I'm getting at, what I'm
I
hearing
love
is that you're
bass players
you're
are my favorite
insinuating that people who play bass guitar because they're not good enough at regular guitar.
That is not at all what I'm
I
insinuating.
think it
As a
is.
matter
For the
of
most-
fact,
It
I
is
think
true. It is
bass-
true for the most part.
I think bass might.
I no,
you can
I
say that.
I
can't.
started on the bass. I'm probably better at the bass than I am the guitar.
I think bass might be more complicated. I think it's hard. 'Cause
kind of
anybody,
agree. I do kind of
anybody can
agree.
make a lot of notes and all that kind of
Whenever I
stuff.
hear like a really good
They
bass,
can't do it as good as
whenever I
Ben
hear like
Clark can do it,
a
but they
really
can do it.
really really good bass, we listen to a lot of Operation Ivy on the way down,
Hell yeah.
and so whenever I hear like a really really good bass part, I'm always like,
Yeah,
like-
that's the thing.
I feel like I can come up with like decent guitar riffs, and then I hear like a really really good bass part, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of that.
Got less to work with.
Yeah, it's just-
I've been like playing in a ska band and touring with ska bands for the
Mhm.
last close to 10 years now, and the bass players in these bands are just unbelievable.
yeah, by far
You know,
the,
and
by
they-
far the
they-
most talented
and
members.
they
yeah.
and they try to channel this like reggae vibe and play as little as they can. And so when you hear them, the stuff they choose to do is always so interesting and
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, boy, we went to a weird space there.
Yeah, we got
Much
really
respect to
sorry. We
bass
got a
players.
little antagonistic over here. I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah.
Welcome back.
Some of my favorite people in the world and some of my best friends in the world are bass players.
Me too.
So
I agree with all these things.
yeah.
We're perfectly fine with baseball.
Yeah. You guys know Tori that used to play with Carpool?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's coming to work here at Reverend full
Oh,
time.
that's super
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
to Toledo next month.
That's awesome.
Since we're gonna have
Congrats.
Some, yeah, I'm happy about it. We all
Congrats,
seem to be
Tori.
happy about it. Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations, Tori.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of rad bass
We'll
players,
send a cake.
yeah, do it. Yeah. Any other questions, Jeff?
Nah, man.
Well, you know, we're going to have to wrap it up because we have to tear all this down because these guys are doing their Circle R session this afternoon after we go have lunch.
Yeah.
Gotta go
Yep.
Sheets.
Got to go to Sheets and have some
Oh,
lunch
I
and
prefer-
then
I
let
think
these
we
guys
could-
set up the studio.
I think we could go somewhere a little nicer.
They've opened with
All right, we'll go to
Well,
the
there is a
steak-
speedway right there.
Yeah, let's go to the Speedway.
Yeah. All right.
I'll
We'll
take
steakhouse
Bulldogs.
it up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. We have
Surf
we
and
have
turf.
Thank you.
there's a lot of amazing things coming up. But next week on the show, Reeves Cabrels will be
Ooh.
live with me taking questions from The Cure, and we're going to bring his band in next week as well. That's amazing. And then what's the week after? There's so many cool things going on. I can't even wrap my brain
Next weekend's my
around it.
birthday, if you were going to mention that.
Oh, next weekend's your
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
that's amazing.
I knew that was.
We're
There's
going to
so
Texas
many
Roadhouse.
Reverend bands out on tour right now doing so many interesting things. Right now, Billy Corgan and the Machines of God are out on the road, and my friend Jenna is playing bass for them, which
Congrats.
is amazing. And that is like happening in a big way. The Bluestones are out supporting their new record right now, and we have so many. There's just Hot Mulligan is doing all these small club shows everywhere, which is amazing. And I mean, there is no excuse wherever you are in this country for not going out this weekend and seeing Reverends live on stage somewhere. The Honey Revenge tour is going strong. I went and saw that on Monday. That was absolutely amazing. And you guys, what's next for you?
We're gonna be off the road for a little bit, working on new stuff. Sorry, not to take
Please.
take all the momentum away.
No, it's all good.
We're gonna be off. We have that Ride Fest show coming up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which is a ways out. But until then, we're gonna be a little quiet, working on new stuff. Gonna try to come back in a big major way.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Have fun at Focoella. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you here next week with Reeves.